It's 2015, and this is the Manhattan Club, a combination hotel timeshare that is located very near. This is Broadway, and if we walk down Broadway, we will get to most of the Broadway theaters. We're on 56th and Broadway in New York City. Ah, the sounds of New York. Sirens, lots of traffic, and, well, at least this one can get through. I hope you can see the sign that says Colbert. This is the former Ed Sullivan Theater. It also housed the David Letterman show, and now Mr. Colbert's show, which we saw a couple nights ago, the Thanksgiving show, and quite enjoyed it. New Yorkers aren't rude. They typically move fast. I did hear one New Yorker say they don't spend a lot of time in Times Square because the visitors, folks like us, don't move fast enough, and it seems to clog traffic. We're here on a Sunday morning, which is not as crowded as some other times of the day and the week. Deliveries and purses for sale. You see lots of stands like this with purses for sale and a few pets taking their morning walk. And like Las Vegas, you also see homeless people. There is a person sleeping under the scaffolding here with lots of bags of his or her worldly goods. We're visiting during Halloween week. We see folks in costumes, and we see windows like this. I'm not sure that this is the place to buy computers and cameras, but there are a number of shops along Broadway selling just those items, along with others. Many forms of transportation in New York. I forget what you call those things, the bicycles with the places to sit. And if you can see way across the street are tour buses with the open tops. We plan to take some hop-on, hop-off tours because we want to see the new museum where the World Trade Center once was. Vendors in New York always seem to have the right products for the weather. If it's raining, there are umbrellas for sale. If it's chilly, as it is now, you can buy scarves and hats. I may be late to the game. This is a trash can, and it is a solar compactor. I guess you can see the solar panels here. I don't know whether we have these in Las Vegas or not. I've never seen them before. A solar compactor. I believe this is kale growing right in the middle of Broadway. New York souvenirs are everywhere. You can even buy a replica New York taxi. We have an M&M's World in Las Vegas, and the other big M&M's store is here on Broadway in Times Square. Here is Hershey's World right across the street, as it is on the Las Vegas Strip. And if you're in the mood for a big kiss, it's right here. 7th Street and Broadway, there are characters and vendors and folks getting a hug. A visitor to New York who comes with his or her own fur coat. And I must say, it is clean in this part of town. People are taking care of the area where so many tourists come. Well, with help from this little guy. And this one picking up the scraps. and not at all scared of people. There used to be lots of hair in New York. Lots of it. My hair is thinning, and so I am profoundly jealous of all this hair. Before we take off on our other trips around New York, one last look at all the great signs. Video really makes an impression here. At the middle of Times Square. Every place that serves food in New York, every restaurant must post in its window a rating, A, B, C. A means the health department has given it a good rating. B means a couple of problems. C means don't go in that restaurant. And here we are, A for Starbucks. On the way to the theater on a Tuesday night in New York City. Just about got killed by a bike. This is the Gerald Schonenfeld Theater filling up for a production of China Doll starring Al Pacino. This is a preview, so if people forget the words, it's understandable. We just passed a couple of costumed Miss Liberties. This is a viewing platform in the closed section of Times Square. And here's one of the tall signs here. And on we go, with everybody looking up. We're in the line for An American in Paris, but it should be Singing in the Rain because it is raining here in Times Square. Not too bad. And we brought 2 umbrellas from dry Las Vegas, but we had umbrellas and we brought them. And here we are. We really scored on our tickets to An American in Paris. We're in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th row. Got these tickets at the box office, although we did see them available on the Tix booth that we passed. But beautiful theater.
Yeah, I have this of the DVD.
And we ought to be able to see and hear really well. The Barclays building used to be Lehman Brothers. Macy's is the largest department store, 11 floors.
Kind of looks like a ship. It represents a slave ship. This is called Triumph of the Human Spirit. It's a tribute to slaves buried in the African burial ground. And it's next to the Supreme Courthouse, United States Courthouse. So this is actually the picture point. This building in front, if you're looking in front, you see a gold statue. That gold statue is called Civic Fame by Adolph Wyman. This is the Civic Center. The African Burial Ground National Monument is the red building to the right, around that corner. The World Trade Center is the next stop.
Brochures are being sold. The arrow says 9/11 Memorial and Museum this way, and there's quite a crowd, and more construction is happening. The leaves are turning. Beautiful plaza area in front of Freedom Tower. And there's another pool, and I'm assuming these are the footballs. footprints of the two buildings that went down. The reason that I was interested in coming to this museum is that my husband and I came to New York 2 months after 9/11. It was a time when a lot of people were canceling trips, and we said, we're coming, we love New York. And we did visit the site of where the buildings had been destroyed. It was quite something. But anyway, here we have things growing out of that site and people coming to visit and remember. This picture is labeled about 8:30 a.m. September 11th, 2001. It was a beautiful day. The proximity of the Hudson River presented a significant challenge to the planners of the World Trade Center. Before excavation and construction could begin in 1966, it was necessary to find a way to prevent river water from seeping into or flooding the site. The innovative solution was to build a concrete retaining wall known as a slurry wall, despite fears that it might be breached on 9/11, thereby worsening the catastrophic impact of the attacks. The wall held. A portion of the original wall, which can be seen here, has been preserved. This wall was made to remember the color of the sky on the day of 9/11. The quote from Virgil is, "No day shall erase you from the memory of time." This dream bike was the restoration project of a New York firefighter who died at 9/11, and his colleagues later completed the restoration of the bike, and it is here at the museum. This is the 9/11 memorial flag, and there are many reasons that this flag is memorable, including some of the material that was stitched into the flag, people who worked on it, etc. This room is called In Memoriam, and it goes round and round. I just dropped an earring. All the pictures of the people who died on 9/11. A film about the rebirth of this area, the founding of the museum, etc., is shown, and this is the lineup of people waiting to see the film. We are in the South Gallery. Pictures that relate to 9/11 and people's reactions all over the country. This is not a piece of modern art. This is a section of the steel facade of the North Tower of the World Trade Center. The South Tower excavation actually includes foundations from the South Tower that have always been here and never were moved. This is the actual, what did you say? It's the south wall. South wall of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Lots of interesting facts here. 50,000 people worked in the World Trade Center. Each tower had 110 floors. Each floor was an acre in size, 198 elevators, 22 different food and drink vendors. On a clear day, you could see 45 miles in each direction. The observation deck had 1.8 million visitors per year. In 2001, the World Trade Center was home to more than 430 businesses from 28 different countries. This is a segment of a radio and TV tower at, I think, the North Tower. Can't remember what I read in the sign. It was large. This was an elevator motor at the World Trade Center. Of course, these are the pictures we all remember.
It felt just a few moments ago like there was an explosion of some kind here at the Pentagon. We're on the E ring of the Pentagon. We have a window that faces out toward the Potomac, toward the Kennedy Center. We haven't been able to see or hear anything after the initial blast. I just stepped out in the hallway. Security guards were herding people out of the building.
Response to the world, this is the theory right now downstairs with 100 people wrapped up on that 105th floor. Fire department. They're coming through the building, sir. I got almost every finder in the city coming to help you. I understand. Just sit tight. We'll get to you as soon as we can. All right, we're on the way.
There is an exit sign at the far end of this room, and I suspect we will use it. This is a beautiful museum. So tastefully done. And the people that we spoke with along the way were knowledgeable and compassionate and so friendly. New York, you did it right. I have just walked to Hellengron trying to find the place to catch the Gray Line tour bus for the Uptown tour. Finally, I'm on the bus. Much interesting information on this tour that I never knew. Times Square was named after the New York Times, which moved to this area somewhere around 1904. I'm in Harlem. The tour bus left me off because I'll be late for the theater if I don't get back. So here we are. It's an exciting place. Lots of stuff for sale. Lots of people. I'm supposed to take the 8 train and get off at 59th. We'll see if that happens. I made it to the subway. It lurches a bit, but I'm on my way. Thanks to these 2 ladies who showed me how to buy a ticket. So I should make it in time for the theater. We are at the Manhattan Theater Club for a show called Ripcord. And here you can see the setting. We're looking forward to it. Our last night in New York, and the lights are as bright as ever. On our way to 47th Street. Our last play of the week, Spring Awakening, and the review was by some friends in Las Vegas who said it's a must-see. I'm not buying any souvenirs, but I could. And here we are at one huge souvenir shop.